So Noémie Marsily will be telling us how she's doing her work. If any of you has any question, please save them until the end when we will open the discussion, because we are filming the masterclass, so it would be good if we can hear you and also let the answers be answered also to other people who might be watching it afterwards. So thank you very much, and please let us greet Noémie with a round of applause.
Thank you. Hi everybody. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you to Tinta Festival for inviting me. So I will try to explain to you how I work, which is not easy to explain because I think I'm a little bit messy. As you can see, this is my desk. Always lots of stuff going on it. So I will anyway try to explain. So first maybe a little presentation of myself. I'm a Belgian artist. I'm living in Brussels, and I do comic books, but also illustration and animation films. I also teach a little bit in an art school with the students in the comic book department. I also sometimes do a little bit of painting, and I have a lot of personal works, but I also sometimes make commissioned works to earn more money. So I try in my daily life to navigate between all of these aspects of my practice. But here today I will try to explain more how I work on personal projects. And also because all of these are different, so I told I'm animating and illustrating, and all of these are different projects, but I face challenges that we can find some similarities in all that stuff, and that's why I will try to present. So, so this is my desk. This is actually a project I'm working on lately, but I will talk a little bit about it later. Let's see what we have next. It's yeah. So I was thinking of this masterclass and how to find a common thing for all my projects, and I think the thing that is common to everything is that I always have some sketchbook with me. I can show you. This is my actual sketchbook. It's not only a sketchbook, it's just a place where I can have freedom to experiment anything. So sometimes it's just sketching something that I observe in where the places I go, or even in my home. It's also a place where I note some ideas for projects, but also like little diary of my daily life, or maybe a dream that I made, or just a place where I can put everything. And so it's a little bit messy too. It's not well organized. So this is, for example, this is just trees that I see. I just take time to observe and draw it. But this is also observing. That can be very quickly impression, but sometimes I take really time to draw. Sometimes it's very quick. So this is all observing drawings, sketches. Yeah. This is, for example, this is my daughter. Sometimes I try to catch things that are moving, which is more difficult. But it's interesting to practice a lot, just to keep connected with the practice of drawing, even if I don't have time to do it every day. I try to keep a regular practice of sketching. So, and also it's a way to experiment with colors, with different ways to approach reality, and to, you know, for example, this is really quickly made sketch, but sometimes I just this one I made it not so long ago. It's just in the morning before starting to work on my projects. I just sometimes take time just to draw anything. So I regularly just draw what's on the kitchen table. As I said before, I'm messy, so every day the kitchen table is different. So it's interesting to. I like to draw the mess as well. It's a way to. It's always. This is like a random composition. I don't put things in order to draw them. I could just draw like this pen on the table, and I like to draw the messiness around me. It's always different composition. Here also you can see my cat. And so I showed you observing sketching, but in my sketchbooks you can also find this is just pieces of ideas for my current project, and I think I'm the only one to understand what's here, but it's just like little notes, just little feeling, little pieces of ideas, and I don't know if I will use it. It's just when it comes up, I put it on the book, and maybe later I will use it for something. So yeah, the same, and everything is mixing in that sketchbooks. So this is ideas for a project I'm working on now, but I don't know. It's just I have a lot of this. I show just a piece of it, but in my place, in my books, it's like this. But in my place also, there is a lot of paper, pieces of paper everywhere, because well, I'm messy, and I think I am searching for a method to work, and I don't have it. I still don't have it. So I'm thinking maybe my method of work is to be messy, and I have to accept that. So I try to deal with that. So here again, it's pieces of ideas that, for example, on the right page, I know for my project there will be a scene in a mini golf, so it's just little doodles, and maybe I will use it later. I don't know exactly how, but to do that kind of things, it helped me to think. It's like I cannot really sit down in a chair and thinking of what I'm going to do. For me, it's easier to think and doodling it at the same time. It's like it helps me to find ideas and to be surprised by what comes on the paper. Also, for example, this. I have a lot of that kind of stuff too. It's not really sketching. It's just little things that I observe in my daily life, and it's very ephemeral moments, and I don't have time to take off my sketchbook and start to draw on the streets. But I keep it in mind, and when I have a little time, I just put down on the paper. For example, this is just, I was taking my daughter to school, and in front of us there was another little girl going to school and playing with her ponytail like this. It was so cute. I don't know if I will use it anywhere in a story, but I just like to observe that little kind of stuff, because it's little details from daily life, and I think later when I'm trying to set up a story, that kind of stuff can be useful, just to inject some real life feeling to my characters or of situation. So we have this little girl, and just after, it's another weird moment I had in a meat store. I just bought some, I don't know, sausage or something, and the butcher, the seller, just was very, I don't know, very rigid. Like he didn't move at all. He just gave me my meat and have this little blink of one eye. It was so weird. Just a very, very fraction of second moment, and so I didn't took my book to sketch him, but I just keep that in mind, and after just write it down. So maybe I can use it later for a character, I don't know, or just to have it in my notebook, because I think it's a little piece of, very small piece of fun in daily life. And also sometimes I just, so after the butcher you have another drawing. This is nothing that I observe, it's just sometimes I have difficulties just to start to work or to draw, and I just open a sketchbook and doing whatever. I start to draw without any pressure, just start anything and just like see what happens. And so that's the third draw, is more that kind of drawing. Also, sometimes in the same energy that I showed before, I just start a page, like improvising page, more in a narrative way, but this is not really a story. It's just, I feel like I want to do a sort of little comic book, and but I don't know what, so I just start with the first box and draw anything in it, and then I start the second one, and it's just started with something graphic, but it was I think I made that during the night, because I had insomnia and I didn't know what to do, so I just started drawing that, and I had quite fun. I didn't know what I was going to do, and that ended up like this. So these are little experiments. I don't know if I will use it in some way, but it's just it keeps me practicing any kind of drawings, and sometimes things are coming out of this and become more important projects. So, for example, this is in the same kind of situation. I didn't know. I just wanted to draw something, but I didn't know what. So I started improvise this. So boxes after boxes. It's a very short thing, and I forgot about it. And I don't know. Maybe months later. A friend asked me to do a page for his comic book journal, and I didn't know what to do. The theme was about a planet of lovers, and I had no idea of what to do. So I opened the old sketchbook and find this drawing, and I just took it and reinterpreted it to make this one that I think you can see in the exhibition here. So this is the final page for a magazine that I made, but in fact it comes from that little improvised little comic. But of course I didn't keep it right like this. I just made it evolve in a way to end up like this. So this is an example of little something that is totally spontaneous, and then that I can use to do something else afterwards. Okay, so it was important to me to tell you about that sketching thing, because I think it's a common point for everything. And now I propose you to talk a little bit about Mori. So this is the cover, the French cover of the book, but this is the book you can find here, translated by Mladinska Editions. And I will try to explain what was the process for this specific book. So first, to present a little bit, it's a story that we made together with Isabella Cieli. So she's a writer. She wrote the story, and I translated into a comic book. And it's a story about kids in a summer camping, hanging out. They don't know each other at first, and we follow two of them. There is a little girl and a little boy. They don't know each other, but during the time they spend in this camping, they start to know a little bit each other and to play, and they construct a kind of relationship, but not so easy, because they are different, and they have reaction sometimes a little bit surprising, but the contact, the encounter between the two make each of them evolve in their own personality. So at first, Isabella, I didn't know her, so it's the writer of this book, and she sent me a script. In fact, at the beginning, she had planned to make a film with that story, but that project didn't come to an end, so she forgot a little bit about this project, but she liked that story, and she had the idea maybe it could become a comic book. So she knew about my drawings, and she just sent me the script. So it's in French, but so you can see it was the first time I worked that kind of way. It was interesting because as the script was written for the cinema, it was really already at that moment, it was already very visual kind of writing. So when I read it, I immediately had not pictures in mind, but I can feel, I could imagine the scene already very, have the feeling of it, and have an impression of the different characters and the atmosphere of that camping. So it was, I immediately said, okay, yes to her, because it was so already alive and visual that I knew I could do something with that. And particularly, it's in French, so I cannot exactly translate it to you, but the third scene is it's what I definitely wanted to make the book, because I can really feel that scene. It's the scene we see on the cover. It's when the little girl wakes up in the morning in the tent, in the camping, and she's in a red tent, and she wake up and open the zipper of the tent and just starting to see what's outside. And I really had a good feeling about this scene, and I immediately wanted to try to draw this. So that's for me how this project really started. And so, and I show you this because for each project I make, it always take me a lot of time, even if I know I really want to develop something that I think I have precise idea of what I want to transmit. It's always a very long process for me to find the graphic way to do it, to get to know, even if it's clear in my mind, just to find the drawing way to make it real, to make it alive, to find the right colors, to get to know the characters, not only in my head but on the paper. So I started to make those little drawings and to search for this atmosphere I had felt when I was reading the scene in the tent. And so I made a lot of these just little drawings, finding what color I would exactly need to draw this and to get to know this little girl. And so this is things that I want to show this to you because I think it's interesting to see what's behind, because it's a long process, and for me it's also interesting when I see other artists' work. I'm always interested to see that kind of stuff because it seems a little bit clumsy at the beginning, and it really takes time to find the narrative and graphic language to express what you feel. So I was obsessed by this tent because in the script it's talking about the shadow of the trees that the little girl sees from inside the tent, and I was trying to draw that, and it was very frustrating because it was so clear in my mind, and I have really a hard time to bring that to life. So I show you more of those little drawings, and at the same time, trying to find the character, trying to find because I was not, from the beginning, I was not sure I will do it with pencil color. I tested also watercolors or even paper cut. I was not sure of the technique, and still obsessed by finding the right red color. So you can see it, but these are really small drawings. It's like doodles, and as I said before, it's just while I'm doing that kind of stuff, in the same time, it makes me think, and it makes me imagine where we are, who are those kids. So this is a try I made with a paper cut, but I was not quite happy with it, so I abandoned that. So here we can see I start to find something. And I show you this tent scene, but I was not, there was several scenes of the book that was like this also, trying and restarting and starting again. So maybe, I don't know, maybe for you, you have impression that it's always the same image or not. I never showed this to anyone, so I don't know what's your feeling about it. Maybe you can tell me later. And in fact, in all my projects, it seems that I need this time to get to know what I'm talking about, what I'm going to tell about. It's like in real life when you visit a place just for 1 hour, you cannot feel it, or if you meet someone just 5 minutes, you cannot know each other. But if you meet every day, or if you return to a place several times, you get to know the place, you get to know the people, and I think I have the feeling for the characters of my books and for the places that I am drawing in those stories. It's the same process. I need this time, that little meetings with them in drawing, and little by little I start to know a little bit about them. So I think this is what you can finally see in the book. So finally I was more or less happy with that scene, but for me, I think I never reached what I had in mind when I tried to do this, but I'm okay with the final result. But anyway, it was like the door for me to that project. It was through that red tent. So this is when she's out of the tent and she discovered this big outside, very shiny and green, and I liked this contrast between the cocoon in the tent and suddenly she's out and she's feeling the fresh air of the morning and the trees and the grass. Okay, so now when after that period where I was doodling a lot and trying to know the characters, finally also I could find enough time in my daily life to really now dive into that project. And I started to make a storyboard for the whole script that Isabella sent me. So I think I took maybe 1 or 2 months just to. I told you I'm messy, but at that point it was kind of well organized because I decided, okay, now I'm going to really start that project, and I just took the script and begin to make that storyboard from the first scene to the end, and end up with the first storyboard. And I will not show you all of it, but some. These are the first pages of it, and actually this is a scene that I added. It was not in the script by Isabella, but I added it at the beginning. So this is another scene of the book. It's later in the book. It's where the kids are playing in an old car, and there is a wig in that story. I will not tell you all the story, but this is another scene that really hits me when I first read the script. So that's why I'm showing this to you, because it was also a very difficult scene for me to translate in drawings. But you see, that storyboard is just really, yeah, the way to find the rhythm and what image I choose to draw, how to tell that story that is written with text, how do I tell that now in images? And this is the process of comic books. But I think it's one of the only projects where I had this step of being kind of very well structured and to do the things, to prepare the things so precisely. So, and this is so at that step of storyboard, it took me, I don't know, 1 or 2 months, but after that, I showed it to Isabella, because she was not only the writer and then I do the book, she was really involved in all the process. So, because she knew the characters and she knew already the story, and it was really nice to discuss with her and to try to understand those characters, and because I was not lonely with that story, we shared that, and so she when I showed her the first storyboard, she could tell me, oh yes, here I recognize the characters, here I don't understand, and so we had several steps of feedback from her and me trying to be more precise, and we had a lot of discussions about once we had that storyboard, we had a lot of discussions to really be more and more accurate, to really choose what to show, to understand those characters and this story. So, and after all that work, I started to do the final drawings. So you can see here. And yes, also what I wanted to say about, so I was really close to the script of Isabella, but also I took freedom to add things and things that I observed in real life, as I said before, like I do all the time. But for this project also, even if it was very precisely written, I added a lot of stuff. For example, in this scene, it was not at all written in the first script, but the two first boxes you see with the little girl with the lamp, it is something that I observed while I was camping with my own daughter. I couldn't invent that. It's just because I saw her playing with that light and running with it. It was so cute that I immediately thought that I could bring that to the story, to the book. And this is another thing that I added to. It's another example of something that I added in the story. This is something that I observed also in a camping. It's just I didn't sketch it on the moment, but just after. It was in the common bathroom of the camping. I just saw a mother with several children and trying to do the hairs of her daughter, who was complaining because it hurts because of the knots in the hairs, and it was. I thought it was funny. It's like a little moment of intimacy that you can see in places like campings, where people are. You see people in the morning when they just wake up, or in the evening taking care of their children, and there is this intimacy that you can find, and that people are just sharing without being aware of that. And so just I add this. It was not written, but it's little things like that that I think it brings real life feeling to a story. Because here it's just the characters she wants to go to the bathroom, but she just see that, and she waits a little bit that they are gone to go. And so this is, here I come back to the script by Isabella. This is exactly what she wrote, but I found it, that I like to find a balance between little improvisation and very well written things. So maybe I will now speak about something else, another project. So this is my animated film, and it's also there is something common with all what I said before, because maybe I will show you the trailer of the film, and after I will talk a little bit more. Sorry? I have 5 minutes left? Okay. Sorry. Okay, I just show you the trailer. Oops, sorry. In fact, so I have only 5 minutes left, so I will do it very quickly. But for this film, in fact, I didn't wrote any script before. It was kind of improvisation, but all of what you can see in that film comes from my sketchbooks. It's just little moments, little drawings I made, and I turned every pieces of that into animation, and so that was a process of like impressionist thing, because I didn't wrote anything, but while diving into my notebooks, I found some drawings that I wanted to develop, and I just show you one example. This is a very, very fast drawing I made when I was it's about motherhood. It's at a moment where I was exhausted having a child. I always had impression to have something to take care about and don't have time to look after myself. So this is just a feeling I had, and several years later I found this in my sketchbook, and I started to develop it into animation. And so I show you the process. This is the first test I made. I didn't know what I was going to do with that, but I just tested that just to see what happened. So this comes from that little drawing. And once I did that, I started to develop it more, and I started to do this. So I did this, and I didn't know where to go with that, but I was happy with that. I thought, okay, I have a shot for my film. But then afterwards, I reopened that file and was with the feeling that I can go further with that idea. So I continued the animation. So it's frame by frame animation, but I had no idea what I was doing. And so I continued this animation. Then at that moment I was, okay, maybe I will stop it now, but weeks after I reopened it and I continued with new ideas, and that idea arrived, but I hadn't anticipated it. It just came like this. And finally, this little drawing became a central thing in that movie. And afterwards, I also added some other shots with that horse, but I don't know if I have time to show it. But that was just to say that I like that process of improvising with the little stuff that comes from nowhere, and just trying to develop it more and more and more, and sometimes it becomes something central in a project. So I will end now. I have other things that I can tell you if you want to ask me some questions, or we can talk later if I will be around, so don't hesitate.
Hvala. So if we have time for one question, but otherwise, Noémie, you will be signing the books now, right? So maybe if you have another question, you can also ask her there at the table. Any questions now, maybe? Yes.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. You mentioned several times that you are very messy, or that's your way of working. However, with this project, the previous one, Memet, you also said that you were more structured. Did it have perhaps something to do with a specific deadline, or actually working with Isabella? Was that actually something that added to that maybe urgency in your work?
I had no deadline, but I knew that I wouldn't have years to do this, because it's always difficult to find time to do stuff, because I have lots of other things to do. But I think the fact that it was a collaboration helped me to be structured. But yeah, I don't know if it answered to your question, but I think, yeah, I'm always trying to find a balance between, yeah, all what I say, improvisation, structure, messiness, because ideas comes from messiness too. So, but I think I take, for my personal work, it's where I allow me to take the more time and the more messiness I can. But for example, for commissioned work, when I have a real deadline, I can be really efficient. I can work really quickly because someone is expecting me to do it, and I can totally adapt to that. But when it's for my project, I cannot be there with myself to put myself some deadlines. So I allow me to go anywhere, but that's how the I don't know, the deeper ideas can come up. I don't know.
Thank you, Noémie, very much. As I said, you can ask her something more at the signing table right here by the stairs. We will continue in 10 minutes with masterclass of Katarina Šemet. She was also a part of WOMCOM project, and she just did her second book, which is about going to the caves, because she is also helping people to come out of the caves while they cannot do it themselves. So in 10 minutes we'll start with Katarina Šemet, but first let us thank Noémie Marsily with a round of applause.